Welcome to my new video. Today, we embark on a magical journey through the enchanting world of
Le Petit Prince,
or The Little Prince, by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. This timeless tale has captivated hearts around the globe with its profound wisdom and whimsical storytelling. In this educational video, we'll immerse ourselves in both the French and English versions of this literary masterpiece. Join me as we explore the rich vocabulary, test our comprehension with multiple choice questions, and ultimately, celebrate the beauty of language and storytelling. So, without further ado, let's dive into the world of
Le Petit Prince,
and discover the wonders it holds. Let's get started. Vocabulary.
goutte, provision, soif, puis, lassitude, fièvre, pli, dune, mèche de cheveux, demi-sourire.
Drop, supply, thirst, well, weariness, feverish, ridges, June, locks of hair, half smile.
Le Petit Prince. Nous en étions au 8e jour de ma panne dans le désert, et j'avais écouté l'histoire du marchand en buvant la dernière goutte de ma provision d'eau. Ah! Dis-je au Petit Prince, ils sont bien jolis, tes souvenirs, mais je n'ai pas encore réparé mon avion, je n'ai plus rien à boire, et je serais heureux, moi aussi, si je pouvais marcher tout doucement vers une fontaine. Mon ami le renard, me dit-il. Mon petit bonhomme, il ne s'agit plus du renard. Pourquoi? Parce qu'on va mourir de soif. Il ne comprit pas mon raisonnement, il me répondit. C'est bien d'avoir eu un ami, même si l'on va mourir. Moi, je suis bien content d'avoir eu un ami renard. Il ne mesure pas le danger, me dis-je. Il n'a jamais ni faim ni soif. Un peu de soleil lui suffit. Mais il me regarda et répondit à ma pensée. J'ai soif aussi. Cherchons un puits. J'eus un geste de lassitude, il est absurde de chercher un puits, au hasard, dans l'immensité du désert. Cependant nous nous mîmes en marche. Quand nous eûmes marché, des heures, en silence, la nuit tomba, et les étoiles commencèrent de s'éclairer. Je les apercevais comme en rêve, ayant un peu de fièvre, à cause de ma soif. Les mots du Petit Prince dansaient dans ma mémoire. Tu as donne soif, toi aussi? Lui demandai-je. Mais il ne répondit pas à ma question. Il me dit simplement. L'eau peut aussi être bonne pour le cœur. Je ne compris pas sa réponse mais je me tus. Je savais bien qu'il ne fallait pas l'interroger. Il était fatigué. Il s'assit. Je m'assis auprès de lui. Et, après un silence, il dit encore. Les étoiles sont belles, à cause d'une fleur que l'on ne voit pas. Je répondis, bien sûr, et je regardais, sans parler, les plis du sable sous la lune. Le désert est beau, ajouta-t-il. Et c'était vrai. J'ai toujours aimé le désert. On s'assoit sur une dune de sable. On ne voit rien. On n'entend rien. Et cependant quelque chose rayonne en silence. Ce qui embellit le désert, dit le Petit Prince, c'est qu'il cache un puits quelque part. Je fus surpris de comprendre soudain ce mystérieux rayonnement du sable. Lorsque j'étais petit garçon, j'habitais une maison ancienne, et la légende racontait qu'un trésor y était enfoui. Bien sûr, jamais personne n'a su le découvrir, ni peut, être même ne l'a cherché. mais il enchantait toute cette maison. Ma maison cachait un secret au fond de son cœur. Oui, dis-je au petit prince, qu'il s'agisse de la maison, des étoiles ou du désert, ce qui fait leur beauté est invisible. Je suis content, dit-il, que tu sois d'accord avec mon renard. Comme le petit prince s'endormait, je le pris dans mes bras, et me remis en route. J'étais ému. Il me semblait porter un trésor fragile. Il me semblait même qu'il n'y eût rien de plus fragile sur la terre. Je regardais, à la lumière de la lune, ce front pâle, ces yeux clos, ces mèches de cheveux qui tremblaient au vent, et je me disais, ce que je vois là n'est qu'une écorce. Le plus important est invisible. Comme ses lèvres entr'ouvertes ébauchaient un demi-sourire, je me dis encore, ce qui m'émeut si fort de ce petit prince endormi, c'est sa fidélité pour une fleur, c'est l'image d'une rose qui rayonne en lui comme la flamme d'une lampe. Même quand il dort, et je le devinais plus fragile encore. Il faut bien protéger les lampes, un coup de vent peut les éteindre. Et, marchant ainsi, je découvris le puits au lever du jour.
The Little Prince. It was now the 8th day since I had had my accident in the desert, and I had listened to the story of the merchant as I was drinking the last drop of my water supply. "Ah," I said to the little prince, "these memories of yours are very charming, but I have not yet succeeded in repairing my plane. I have nothing more to drink, and I, too, should be very happy if I could walk at my leisure toward a spring of fresh water." "My friend the fox," the little prince said to me. "My dear little man, this is no longer a matter that has anything to do with the fox." "Why not?" "Because I am about to die of thirst." He did not follow my reasoning, and he answered me, "It is a good thing to have had a friend, even if one is about to die. I, for instance, am very glad to have had a fox as a friend. He has no way of guessing the danger," I said to myself. "He has never been either hungry or thirsty. A little sunshine is all he needs." But he looked at me steadily, and replied to my thought, "I am thirsty, too. Let us look for a well." I made a gesture of weariness. It is absurd to look for a well, at random, in the immensity of the desert. But nevertheless, we started walking. When we had trudged along for several hours, in silence, the darkness fell, and the stars began to come out. Thirst had made me a little feverish, and I looked at them as if I were in a dream. The little prince's last words came reeling back into my memory. "Then you are thirsty, too?" I demanded. But he did not reply to my question. He merely said to me, "Water may also be good for the heart." I did not understand this answer, but I said nothing. I knew very well that it was impossible to cross-examine him. He was tired. He sat down. I sat down beside him. And, after a little silence, he spoke again. "The stars are beautiful, because of a flower that cannot be seen." I replied, "Yes, that is so." And, without saying anything more, I looked across the ridges of sand that were stretched out before us in the moonlight. "The desert is beautiful," the little prince added. And that was true. I have always loved the desert. One sits down on a desert sand dune, sees nothing, hears nothing. Yet through the silence something throbs, and gleams. "What makes the desert beautiful," said the little prince, "is that somewhere it hides a well." I was astonished by a sudden understanding of that mysterious radiation of the sands. When I was a little boy I lived in an old house, and legend told us that a treasure was buried there. To be sure, no one had ever known how to find it, perhaps no one had ever even looked for it. But it cast an enchantment over that house. My home was hiding a secret in the depths of its heart. Yes, I said to the little prince. The house, the stars, the desert, what gives them their beauty is something that is invisible. I am glad, he said, that you agree with my fox. As the little prince dropped off to sleep, I took him in my arms and set out walking once more. I felt deeply moved and stirred. It seemed to me that I was carrying a very fragile treasure. It seemed to me, even, that there was nothing more fragile on all earth. In the moonlight I looked at his pale forehead, his closed eyes, his locks of hair that trembled in the wind, and I said to myself, what I see here is nothing but a shell. What is most important is invisible. As his lips opened slightly with the suspicion of a half smile, I said to myself, again, what moves me so deeply, about this little prince who is sleeping here, is his loyalty to a flower, the image of a rose that shines through his whole being like the flame of a lamp. Even when he is asleep. And I felt him to be more fragile still. I felt the need of protecting him, as if he himself were a flame that might be extinguished by a little puff of wind. And, as I walked on so, I found the well, at daybreak. The final section is comprehension questions. Now, read the questions and find the correct answers below.
1. Où se trouve le narrateur au début de cette histoire? A. Dans une forêt. B. Dans un désert. C. Dans une montagne. 2. Pourquoi le narrateur est-il inquiet? A. Il a perdu son ami. B. Il n'a plus d'eau à boire. C. Il a peur des animaux sauvages. 3. Pourquoi le narrateur trouve-t-il que le désert est beau? A. À cause des dunes de sable. B. Parce qu'il y a des trésors cachés. C. À cause du silence et du mystère qu'il cache. 4. À quoi le narrateur compare-t-il le petit prince endormi? A. À un trésor fragile. B. À une fleur délicate. C. À une étoile brillante. 5. Qu'est-ce que le petit prince croit embellir le désert? A. Les dunes de sable. B. Les étoiles. C. Le puits caché. 6. Qu'est-ce qui émeut le plus le narrateur en regardant le petit prince endormi? A. Son sourire. B. Sa fidélité pour une fleur. C. Ses cheveux tremblants au vent.
Thank you for joining me on this linguistic adventure with The Little Prince. I hope you've enjoyed the immersive experience of listening to both the French and English versions, expanding your vocabulary, and testing your comprehension. Remember, the journey of language learning is a beautiful one, much like the journey of the little prince himself. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content. Feel free to leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. Until next time, goodbye and see you soon.